Hello students. As you all are aware that English question paper is divided into three sections. First section reading, second writing and grammar, and the third section is literature. And today we are going to start with the writing section, and the first topic that we are going to cover is article writing. An article is a piece of writing written for a large audience. The main motive behind writing an article is that it should be published in either newspapers or magazines or journals. Why it should be published? To make some difference to the world, to give your point of view. And the topics can be of varied interest. It can be the current issue, it can be a serious issue, it can be, a funny one. And as you are aware that the current issue is what's going on is the COVID-19. And you can write an article on that also. Now, what are the objectives of article writing? An article is written with the following objectives. It should bring out the topics or the matter of interest in the limelight. Whose matter of interest? The general public. And the article should also provide information on the topic, and it should offer suggestions and pieces of advice also for those who are reading it. And it should also influence the readers and urges them to think that what is right and what is wrong. The article discusses various stories, persons, locations, rising issues, and technical developments. Now, what are the steps for article writing? Suppose you are sitting and you are thinking of writing an article. So first of all, you have to think about the topic, on the topic on which you want to write an article. And after you have decided the topic, you can go ahead and undertake the further steps in the process one by one. Now, who is your target audience? You need to identify that for whom you are writing. For example, if we say that the current topic that is going on is COVID-19, and this topic is, worldwide it's going on. So it can be for every person. And suppose if we take the example of mental health, so that topic should cover those people who are suffering from it or who are sensitive to that topic. Now, the second thing is purpose. Find the objective or aim of writing the article. It can be, you're giving information just to make people laugh or humor. Next one is collect and select. Gather as such information as possible. Also identify the details that are more significant so that no one can pinpoint a finger on you that this is wrong. So for that, you need to collect information. And lastly, organize. Arrange the information and the facts in a logical way. Like what should come first, what should come next, and what should be conclusion. Now, when you're starting to write an article, there need to be a format. So what is the format for that? First of all, you need to have a title, and then you need to mention your name or the writer's name. And then the main body or the main columns in the first one is the main part of the article, or the second one is introductory paragraph, then descriptive paragraph, and then additional information if required. And finally, the conclusion, that is the ending part of the article. Now, once you have taken care of all the above steps, you move forward to the final step, and that is writing. While writing an article, always use proper grammar, spelling, punctuations, and you can use your vocabulary skills. Like the more words that will use, it will make it more beautiful. Keep the introduction of the topic catching, interesting, and short. Discuss the opinion and the matter in an organized and descriptive manner. Now, the common mistakes that generally students do in article writing is that not using facts or quotes or similar cases. Like that would make it interesting. If you are using proper facts and proper quotes by people, it's going to make your article interesting. The language should not be too formal. It should neither be very informal. You should take a middle path. It should be a little bit of formal and a little bit of informal. The article must be in easy language for better understanding by its readers. The title of the article must be catchy and clearly understandable. Suppose you are writing for a newspaper or a magazine, then if the title is catchy, then more readers are going to read your article. And if you're not using paragraphs, as you all know that an article should be at least in 3 paragraphs. So if you're writing in a very lengthy way, like, in one paragraph, it's not going to attract your readers. Let's briefly find out what are the do's and don'ts of article writing. The do's first, you should always write the writer's name. The heading of the article should be very short, clear, and informative. Target the audience, like which age group, which particular sect of audience you want to write for. The language and the style of writing should be according to the concerning readers, and you should use proper punctuations. Now the don'ts that you should keep in mind. You should not write very lengthy articles. The title should not be very lengthy. It should be catchy and short. And only the introduction and the conclusion should be attractive and attention seeker. That means it should not be that only the introduction is very attractive or the conclusion is very attractive. The main point should also be very interesting. And the other don't that you should do is you just should not advise in the beginning of the paragraph. The advice or the suggestion should be given in the last paragraph. And it should not necessary that there should only be 3 paragraphs. They can be more than that, but yes, there should be multiple paragraphs. Now, what are the points to keep in mind for the article writing? The topics of the article should be unique and relevant. It should be, related to the current thing or to the interest of the people. The article has to get attention by the readers. It has to be interesting. It has to be easy to read. For this, you need to write in a simple and lucid language. You should not use much heavy words. The reader should be identified. For example, if you are writing for the children or for the students, so you should know that this article is to be read by students. So accordingly, you need to pinpoint the figures, and you need to target that particular audience. Find the main goal of writing an article. The goal can be anything from providing information, entertainment, and advice, or for comparing, etc. The title must be eye-catching, clear, and interesting. The introduction or the starting paragraph must be highly attentive. Use your vocabulary skills or try to use some interrogative words for the start. For example, suppose during the exam times you want to write an article for the students. So you can start with the interrogative sentence. Are you feeling scared for the exams? Are you nervous? So you can begin with the interrogative sentences. Use clear statements and make assertions. And lastly, you should avoid repetition and over-the-top logic and reasons, because if you are going to repeat the same sentence again and again, it won't be that interesting and the reader will lose interest. Use the style of paragraph writing and write the contents uniquely and ambiguously. Avoid using the points which interest you only and not for the general public. Now, this is very important point, because when you're writing the article and you're writing for the masses, you're writing in a magazine or a newspaper. So, and that is for others to read. If it interests you, you should yourself read some other article and be satisfied. But if you're writing for the general public, it should be interesting for your readers, not for you. Write a good and logical ending. And so, students, the points that we have discussed can be used for writing a good article. And if we think according to from the point of view of examination, then also you should keep all these things in mind, so that your article should be interesting to read by the teachers. And if you're writing for your magazines, school magazine or for newspaper, then also you should keep all these points in mind. And I'm sure that you are going to write a very interesting and wonderful article for your readers. Thank you.